What's up, you guys? ASD Classified here, and I'm here with another review of Power Rangers Megaforce. So, in the beginning of this episode, Troy sees Emma, riding her bike around the forest or whatever, so he follows her, and by the time he catches up to her, she's off her bike, and then she's like walking around and twirling and singing and stuff and acting like a Disney princess. And I didn't mind the singing, actually. Like, the song, it was cheesy and whatever, but I thought it was okay. It's kind of cute. It's whatever. So Troy goes up to Emma and he says, "Wow, Emma, you can sing. I didn't know that." And then Emma was like, "Yeah, this is a song that I got from my mom. Like, she used to sing it, like, every time the flowers would bloom on the trees or whatever. And it's probably why I like nature today. Like, and it's a song that really, reminds me of my mom and keeps it in my heart, something like that." And then Troy was like, "Oh, so, we're going to be late for school, so can we please go?" And I'm like, hey, Emma just told him that her mom has passed and he's worried about going to school. Like, that is so awkward. Like, why did they have him say that? Like, they could have easily fixed this in like 2 seconds. All Troy had to do was like put his hand on Emma's shoulder, something like, "I'm sorry for your loss," or something like that. Or he didn't have to say anything. And then Emma could have been like, "Oh, well, we're going to be late for school. Let's head on." That's all they had to do. Instead, why did they give Troy that line? Like, Troy doesn't need any lines, period. Whatever. Moving on to Monster Attack. So this monster named Discord shows up and he uses music as a weapon. So he's singing really loud and awfully and it's hurting everybody in the city. And then it really starts to hurt Troy and Emma as they're trying to walk back to the city or whatever. And it also was hurting everybody at the school. So yeah, the Rangers all morph and they run to confront the monster, and Troy and Emma are really hurt by the monster's music because they were really close to the monster when he started singing. I really don't buy their reasoning at all. And especially like once you're morphed, you would think their powers would protect them a little bit from, but whatever, man. Since they were hurt for like the majority of this episode, we have to deal with this reasoning. So yeah, the Rangers try to fight Discord and Loogies, and they kind of lose. Like, the monster beats them because Troy and Emma couldn't get their shit together, and then the monster just leaves to go attack other humans. Yep. Then we get 2 separate scenes, one with Emma and Gia and one with Troy and the guys, that show that Emma and Gia that shows that Emma and Troy cannot listen to any type of music, even normal music, without their ears bleeding. Like, turn off your Pandora and all your iTunes devices, please, because you will kill the Rangers. Okay. Discord and his terrible dialogue show up again, and thanks to Varak's assistance, he is able to transmit his music across the entire world, so it's affecting everyone now. And because Troy and Emma are really hurt by like any noise ever, the other Rangers decide to handle this on their own, and so they go to confront the monster, and they have a pretty good fight with Varak and stuff. And we're also shown these scenes like from around the world of people being hurt. Like, they show some scenes from Africa and London and New York and some other places too. I can't really remember. And like stereotypes aside, I really did like the scene because it really shows like, yes, this is really being affected across the entire world. So I let it go. So Tenso contacts T-Roy and tells him that, the monster's music is being transmitted across the entire world and they can't do anything to stop it. Well, of course they can, because then they might actually be useful if they could. Then Troy comes up with a plan like, "Oh, I know how to stop it." So Troy and Emma show up to the battlefield, and then he has Emma just sing. And this somehow blocks out all the monster's music. Somehow. All she did was sing. They didn't even give the bitch a microphone. She just sung. Like, how is she loud enough to block out this monster's noise when it's transmitting across the entire world? Like, whatever. This somehow beats the monster, and it makes the device that transmits his music across the world, like, blow up and crowd. And then the Rangers blow up the monster, then Varak makes it big with his Zombats, and then they blow up the monster again, and yeah, that's the end of the episode, whatever, but we're deleting you off our playlist. Yeah, whatever. I also like the line that Varak said after the monster blew up. He said, "So, Discord is no longer composing music. He's now just decomposing." I like that one. That was good. But yeah, whatever. Overall, this episode was not for me. 2 out of 5. It just wasn't. And like, it's a music episode, and I saw some fans like, "Oh, well, about those music episodes." Like, I didn't think that I was going to hate this episode just because of the music episode, because I actually like some music episodes. I like the song of Discord, and or Discordia in season 3. And I like Another Song and Dance in Theo. You know, I like the karaoke org in Wild Forest. You know what I mean? I tend to like the music episodes. I mean, I didn't like the dancing episode in Jungle Fury, but, you know, there's a lot I didn't like in Jungle Fury. But, you know, I tend to like the music episodes. So, for me, not to like this one, it was just because it was bad on its own. The only thing I really liked about this episode was the fight scene between Noah, Jake, and Gia and Varak. I really liked that fight. That was some good quality action. And I kind of like the little character moments with Gia as well that show that she's really protective of Emma, you know, like a big sister. I really like those things. Like, you kind of saw that a little bit in the first episode, and now you see it here. Like, I like that. It kind of shows, like, yes, they really are friends. They didn't have to beat you over the head with it like they did in the last episode where they said, like, they were best friends, like, a million times. Even though I liked the last week's episode, still, though, that was a no-no. No. So yeah, everything else about this episode, yeah, I wasn't really feeling like the monster's dialogue. He had a couple of good lines, but most of it was like him trying to be the hate master from season 3, but 10 times worse. And this episode had Ernie 2.0 throughout it, and I do not like Ernie, so Oh, and back to Varak. Like, he confronts the Rangers in this episode in his regular blue armor, and the Rangers say nothing about his appearance. Like, last week's episode, he had that Earth armor on, and this week he looks completely different, and they say nothing. Like, all it would have took was, like, one little line, like, whoa, major wardrobe change, something. That's all they had to say. But they bring up, they didn't... Noah in the last episode even, like, commented on his look. So for them not to bring it up in this episode, it's kind of like... You know what could have fixed this episode for me to give it at least a 3? Make your useless mentor not useless. Okay. This is how you do it. Okay, we had these scenes where Emma was like really hurt from regular music and Troy was hurt by regular music. You know what you do? You take those Rangers to Gosei and see what you can do. Like, okay, like, you know, Troy and Emma go to Gosei, like we're really hurting Gosei. Like, can you do something about it? And then they, like, examine them or whatever. You know what they did in Mighty Morphin, the season that they're painfully trying to emulate. You know, oh my God. That's all they had to do. Oh, and also, they, Troy could have still came up with the plan, like, to have Emma sing to fight the monster singing, but it could have been like, you know, Gosei and Tenso build this like amplifier, so where they amplify Emma's voice so it combats the monster singing. Man, simple stuff, you know, simple stuff to fix this up by making your useless mentor useful. Whatever, 2 out of 5. And yeah, so yeah, what did you guys think about this episode? If you're watching, let me know in a comment. Ja mata. Minasan.